first half of 2019, CB would be given a 23-year sentence for waving a shotgun at police officers. This was a huge loss for the drill scene, as CB...
Y'all gave him 23 years for waving? Oh, I get it. I get it, because he actually had the gun. Because he actually caught him with the gun. I get it. Damn. Welcome back to another rendition of AZ Reacts. Welcome back to the channel. We back with another reaction. This side versus that side, them versus them, him versus him. Let's see who we working with today. Number game. 6 side versus 7 side. The 6th versus the 7th. This is a deadly divide in East London time. So let's get straight into the reaction. We're gonna take up too much time rambling around doing none of that bullshit. We're gonna get straight into the video. So let's take up no time. Let's get straight into the shit. Pull the mic for it. Pull that shit back. Let's get straight into this shit. Chat. I wonder if you know.
In East London, Newham has been an infamous part of London, with notorious gangsters and gangs hailing from the area. An example would be the Cray twins, who controlled the criminal streets of Newham. However, this video isn't about the Cray twins, but instead the dangerous gang war between...
Is that the These the dudes that damn, what movie is? Damn, bro, what is his name? Damn, I'm slipping right now, bro. I can't even think of the nigga name, bro. What is his name? Fuck. I can't think of the nigga name, bro. He was in Batman. He was Bane in Batman. He was, he played in Inception. He played in Brunson. He, not Daniel Hardy. Fuck. What is his name? What is his name? Damn, bro. When I see his name, I'm gonna be pissed, bro. Tom Hardy. This is the movie that Tom Hardy was in. What movie is this? He played the twins. Damn, what movie is this? Damn. Tom Hardy as twins. Oh, is it Legend? Is it Legend? It's Legend. Yeah, the movie Legend. This is the movie of the Cray twins is about them. Hey, go watch that movie. If you haven't watched that movie Legends, bro, go watch that movie. That movie is cold, bro. Tom Hardy went off on that performance. No cap, bro. I'm a big movie buff, bro. I really love movies. I want to be an actor, bro. So when it comes to like movies and stuff like that, about especially like documentaries or like finance movies or movies about real life based on true stories, I love movies like that just because it shows like how interpretations are looked at about the real life situation. So, but let's get straight back into the reaction. If you already know what to do, like the video, sub to the channel, do all that shit. Cray twins, Legend. But now we get to hear about the real story, so let's back it up a little.
Notorious gangsters and gangs hailing from the area. An example would be the Cray twins, who controlled the criminal streets of Newham. However, this video isn't about the Cray twins, but instead the dangerous gang war between 7th and 6th. This feud has proven to be dangerous, with over 20 people being killed due to their involvement with the beef. Before I get into the beef, it's important to note that the 7th gang, along with CGE, 15th and Manor Park, make up an alliance in Newham. The alliance is referred to as Northside Newham, and similarly to the Northside Newham Alliance, alliance. The Southside gangs would also form an alliance under Southside Newham. These gangs consisted of 6th, Custom House, and Canning Town, meaning that a lot of the beef would be between Southside Newham and Northside Newham. Now 7th, or formerly known as E7 Crips, is a large street gang based around the Forest Gate area, within the E7 postcode. In recent years, we would see 7th split into 2 different sets, due to in-house beef, these sets being Woody and BWC. However, I will explain the split between 7th later on in the video. 7th has been around since the late 1990s, with them being composed of many small street gangs. In recent years, 7th has had a big impact on the modern-day drill scene, with huge UK drill rappers hailing from the gang. These rappers include Yanko, CB, YCB, and Broad Day. Only streets away from the...
If y'all got any recommendations from any of these artists, please let me know down in the comments. I want to tune in to this scenery so we can get more accoladed with the artists and with the scene, so I can be more tuned in when we watching these videos. Drop some heat, drop some recommendations down in the comments if you're watching this shit.
7th gang and the Northside Newham Alliance is the large street gang named 6th. 6th are also referred to as ACG musically. The younger generation are known as ACG, or Anyone Can Go, with the older generation going by many different names, including BBS, or Becton Black Squad, and HTM, or Harder Than Most. 6th, along with neighboring gangs Custom House and Canning Town, make up the Southside Newham Alliance, beefing Northside Newham. 6th have also had a big impact on modern drill, with rappers like Young Diz, Ryda, Twin S, and Double M. Now 6th and 7th haven't always had a rivalry. In the early 2000s, they would be calm with each other. However, in 2009, this would all change.
15-year-old boy with stab wounds to his chest.
A member from the gang CGE, named Captain, would be walking on Whitwell Road in Plaistow at around 10:45 p.m. on Saturday the 24th of January 2009. Over a dozen Custom House members would spot Captain, and a fight would ensue. This would sadly end in Captain being stabbed multiple times, and being pronounced dead on the scene in his sister's arms. A Custom House member named Major would be arrested for the murder. He would be charged and found guilty of...
R.I.P. to that boy Captain, man. R.I.P. in the comments, R.I.P. in the chat, R.I.P. to that boy Captain. But it just goes to show, bro, when you in that life, bro, you never know what can happen, bro. Anything can happen at any moment, bro. Like, especially in the UK shit, bro. These dudes are, you gotta be so slick with a knife to just have that motherfucker on you and just, and then think about if a nigga get to, if a nigga do this, it's cooked cheese. You are cheese, nigga. Straight cheese. Somebody do this. Somebody gets to doing this with their knife. Cheese. I guarantee you. Swissy. They turning you to Swissy, I'm sorry.
The murder, being sentenced to at least 17 years in prison. He was recently pictured on Snapchat for his 28th birthday. The death of Captain would spark a divide in Newham, with the friends of Captain starting to beef Custom House and allied gangs. This caused the divide which we know today as Northside versus Southside Newham. Only a year later, on the 4th of July 2010, a Custom House member named Ace would be riding his bicycle back from a party he attended. Younger members from CGE would spot him and identify him as a rival. They would run up to him and a fight would ensue. This sadly ended in Ace being stabbed over 10 times. His lung would be punctured as a result of the wounds, and he would sadly be pronounced dead 2 days later. The murder would be a direct act of retaliation for the death of Captain a year prior. A CGE member named Sammy Guns would be wanted for the murder of Ace, but would sadly be shot to death by Peckham gang members only 3 months later. Rest in peace, Ace and Sammy Guns. The beef between the gangs would go silent for a few years until the late 2010s, when a gang member from Dagenham-based set 8910, now more commonly referred to as DAG 109, would G-check a 7th member named Vando on the 12th of November 2016. Later in the day, Vando and another 7th member would be looking for revenge. Vando would spot Duran later on in the day and would confront him. Duran would be stabbed once in the stomach, and his friend would be stabbed 3 times. The 7th...
Hey, boy, you can't check everybody, but everybody not with that shit. You might get the up on somebody right then and there. You better... That be the thing about certain people, bro. Certain people just be wanting clout points. Certain people just be wanting, like, you know, just to show somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to scare you, put some fear in you, bro. They want to live by fear. Nah, some of these people be living by the real knife, living by real, like, crazy actions. They not playing no games. Some people aren't intelligent enough to think farther than just, bro, it's over with. You want to disrespect me? I'll just stab you up, or I'm finna just beat you up. It's over with. Automatic fisticuffs. Some people just honestly can't. That's what I think. You aren't intelligent enough to think of another solution other than beating somebody up or stabbing somebody or shooting somebody or doing anything other than that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many different solutions to a problem, bro, and people choose the absolute simplest. The absolute simplest problem will never. I mean, the absolute simplest solution sometimes will never get you there. You know what I mean? Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, bro. It is what it is, bro. Some people got their own thinking of. Get straight back into this shit.
Members would flee the scene. Paramedics and police would arrive minutes later, and Duran would be taken to hospital. However, he would die only 3 hours later, and a murder investigation would be launched. Vando and the other 7th member would be arrested for the murder. They were originally facing murder charges. However, they would be cleared of the murder charge, but instead convicted of manslaughter under the grounds it was self-defense. Rest in peace, Duran. During the end of 2016 and start of 2017, we would see 6th members starting to drop music. We would see rappers like Young Diz starting to prosper in the music scene during these years. He had been making music since 2013, however wouldn't see much success. On the 3rd of April 2017, a member of Custom House allied with 6th named Grinna would be on his way to his local shop to buy a fruit juice. When he was getting ready to pay for his drink, 7th gang members would run into the shop, and a fight would ensue between Grinna and the members. Grinna would be stabbed in his heart and would sadly be pronounced dead on the scene. A murder investigation would be launched after this, with 3 arrests being made in the following days of the murder. However, none of the people arrested would be charged, with the murder going unsolved till this day. In
What's
2020,
up with a judicial system? Shit. Absolute, bro. I honestly, I don't understand how they got all of that CCTV. They got all. They gotta have the same technological advancements that America got. If not, at least like they can't be 100 years behind. I love. They can't be 50 years behind, even 15 years behind. I'll take them being 20 years behind. That means they at least got enough to test. I'm trying to think. DNA testing started. Hey Siri, when did DNA testing start? DNA testing was developed in the late 80s, so I would say they was good and well around the world by, not around the world, but at least in the more developed countries by the 2000s. So I truly do not understand how they don't get, like these dudes have to be taking the night with you, going with you, not dropping shit. But that's the cleanest way. But that's honestly probably why they not getting caught as much, because they doing it with knives. They not doing it with guns. It's easier to catch somebody shooting with a gun because the bullets is left. You get traces of you. Now we gotta just find that gun. With a knife, it's like there's no traces of a knife because a knife is a knife. Any blunt any blunt object of that stature would do the same thing. So it's not like we just looking for a specific knife. But if we find a knife of that, you know what I mean, caliber, then it can be linked up to that. But it's just like, think about having to hide a knife and to having to hide a gun. Just 2 different difficulties, bro. It should get crazy out here.
22, police would release CCTV images and videos of the crime, and even offered up £20,000 to anyone with information. However, it seems that the murder is still unsolved, with
£20,000. They say anybody snitch, you get 20,000. 20K. You get 20K just for telling. Hey, y'all, instantly. Hey, look, I'm finna get up some fake info. Y'all just,
the killers still being free. Rest in peace, Grinna. After the death of Grinna, tit-for-tat incidents would occur between 6th and 7th. This included stabbings and shootings that would occur during the summer months of 2017, including prominent member of 6th, Young Diz, being stabbed and shot multiple times in 2017. Luckily, he would survive. All of these tit-for-tat attacks in the streets would lead to one of the most brazen attacks in the history of the beef. On the 4th of September 2017, an affiliate of 7th named CJ, who was only 14, would be standing outside of
say he looked like a kid.
2017, an affiliate of 7th named CJ.
Oh, that looked like a real child. That's ridiculous, bro. R.I.P. to that kid, man. R.I.P., bro. That's insane, bro.
Who was only 14, would be standing outside of a playground in East London with other 7th members. When a car would slowly approach the group, a gunman from the 6th gang would lean out of the car and shoot multiple times into the crowd. Sadly, CJ would be shot in the head and would be pronounced dead on the scene. CJ was said to have been groomed into the 7th gang, with his mum even finding 650 pounds worth of crack cocaine in his home. This whole
That boy had what?
7th gang, with his mum even finding 650 pounds worth of crack cocaine in his home. This whole situation.
Damn! 650 pounds worth of. Oh, I'm not 650 pounds. 650 pounds would have been insane. 650 pounds would have been fucking kingpin level, but he had $650. But that's like 750 something. It's like 675 something like that. 680 something like that in American dollars. But that's like $700 worth of crack. It's a lot, but it's not a lot. Damn.
Is sad, as CJ could have made a legal path for himself in the future, but instead he fell in with the wrong crowd. Now no one has been charged in connection to the murder. However,
Everybody
a few
can turn
arrests
out
have been
that,
made. Rest in peace, CJ. After the death of CJ, young Diz, who was one of the most prominent members of 6th, would start rapping and dissing CJ on songs. He would rap one of the rudest drill verses of all time. Only months later, in May 2018, young Diz would rap on a song called Smoky Things, where he would diss CJ and his mum. This verse is widely regarded as the rudest drill verse. 2018 would be a very active year for the two gangs musically, with young rappers like Castro, Striker, and Bones starting to drop songs on UK drill platforms like Pac-Man TV and Mixtape Madness. 7th would also have an active music scene, with a rapper named CB dropping UK drill banger Take That Risk in October 2017. It started.
If y'all want me to react to
the
that
rapper
song,
named
make sure
CB
to,
dropping UK drill banger Take That Risk.
We need 10 likes on the video. If we get 10 likes on the video, we gonna react to Take That Risk by CB. We gonna get into that shit. If you got any other recommendations from that artist, make sure to tune in and drop that shit down in the comments or wherever you watching the shit. Let's get straight back into the video though.
In October 2017, it started to look like 7th and 6th could make a big name for themselves in music, although they dissed each other in pretty much every song. On the 14th of February 2018, 7th members, including Vando, who we have already discussed, would use a stolen car and ride onto their op block. Promise, who was a 6th affiliate, would be walking with a group of friends at around 8 p.m. when a car would slowly approach. What Promise didn't know was that the car would contain 7th members. The car full of 7th members would then drive into Promise, knocking him over. Promise managed to escape the situation by running down Butcher's Road. However, the 7th members would take chase and Vando would catch up and stab Promise multiple times. Promise would sadly be pronounced dead on the scene, with the attackers fleeing. All 4 of the attackers would be.
God, mom. These look like little kid. The nigga. This dude look like he the oldest. He look like he the oldest, but he look like he look like he the oldest. He only look like he the oldest. This dude look like he probably the oldest. He look like he probably the second oldest. This probably the youngest dude. Bro, they kids. These are children. They can't be no older than 16, 17 years old.
Arrested and charged with the murder of Promise. This included Vando, who wouldn't be as lucky as before and would be sentenced to life in prison, along with his co-defendants. Rest in peace, Promise. Vando is often mentioned in recent 7th songs, as he is one of the most active members in Northside Newham as a whole. Yanko, who is a young 7th rapper, mentions the fact that Vando has killed 2 ops a lot in his songs.
What I'm on, Vando caught 2 in 2 years. The pagans ain't on what he's on. That side, you know, free Vando locked for the merge. Got hit by the front of the beamer. 3-man drops with the pig.
That be that thing too. They be dropping straight work, straight diss work in their songs. But I don't understand why they laws is way more lenient. They just don't investigate like that. Obviously, they obviously do not investigate these people's music like they do in America. Because America would have fried your ass just off your lyrics alone. Fried, Rico, whole gang cooked. You would have been cooked in America. Cooked. The way that y'all talking on these raps, you cannot talk like that in America. No. It be some people talk like that, but them the dudes that get locked up every other week in and out of jail. Y'all don't, nah, bro. But y'all, you know, I don't know, bro. It's different everywhere, bro. It's different everywhere, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying, like, y'all soft because y'all not getting locked up like that, you know what I mean? Y'all judicial system just gotta be trash.
Young Sluey was a loved and well-respected member of the 6th gang. Around the time Promise died, young Sluey would borrow money from another 6th member. Now these 2 members were friends. However, weeks later, when the other 6th member was looking for the money, young Sluey wasn't able to pay him back. A fight would then ensue between the 2 members, and this would result in the 6th member stabbing young Sluey to death whilst being under the influence of drugs. After the death of young Sluey, the war between 6th and 7th would start to quieten down, due to a lot of the older members going to jail. This included young Diz, who was arrested arrested and sentenced for kidnapping and torturing a 16-year-old over lost money. Shootings and stabbings would still occur in the streets. These incidents wouldn't appear in the news, but they would be referenced in songs made by the gangs. In April 2019, a young 7th member would start rapping, his name being Yanko. Yanko would drop his first song being Anyone Can Go. This song was full of disses towards dead and alive 6th members. Another 7th member named Whoosh would also start to gain attention during this time, with his unique flow and aggressive bars. Although 2019 was looking good for 7th, during the first half of 2019, CB would be given a 23-year sentence for waving a shotgun at police officers. This was a huge loss for the drill scene, as CB...
Y'all gave him 23 years for waving? Oh, I get it. I get it, because he actually had the gun. Because he actually caught him with the gun. I get it. I get it. But I kind of don't get it. Damn. 23 years.
He had taken over differently during 2018, dropping some of the hardest songs. 2019 was looking promising for Yanko, with him dropping over 4 songs. He would unfortunately be locked up around September 2019 and would be facing drug charges, meaning he wasn't able to continue his music career, at least not for a while. Now 2019 would end, with 2020 beginning and another set of 7th and 6th rappers emerging. In the 7th set, we would see rappers like C1 start to jump on beats. Emerging from the 6th set, we would see Twin S, who is a respected older, and Double M, who was a younger. The beef wasn't very active during 2020, as a lot of people were most likely in their homes during this time. However, 2021 would be till this day the most dangerous year within the beef. Now, I just talked about Double M, who had been making noise on the scene, dropping UK drill songs including his Plugged In, Gunsmoke, and his feature on a Hotspot freestyle.
If y'all want to hear any of those tracks, hits, whatever the case may be, make sure to comment down below. Double M. Comment Double M down in the comments, so we're going to shake some, move some in that direction to Double M. But let's keep going on. Like the video if you like the video. Sub to the channel if you made it this far. Press that sub button if you're not subbed already. Like the video if you ain't liked the video already. Turn the notification bell on so you know when that boy drops, because we live it every single day. We got something dropping. Every day we got another video dropping, so make sure to be interactive with your boy so we can keep on pushing, keep this shit driving, keep the shit moving. Let's get the shit going.
Double M was looking as if he could become the next big rapper from 6th. Sadly, in 2021, the road life would catch up to him in the worst way. On the 7th of March 2021, Double M would be in Abbey Wood, southeast London. Double M would be walking with a group of his friends. However, he would decide to split off from his friends and instead approach another group of people. Double M would have a conversation with one of the people. However, this conversation got heated and would end with the man pulling out a knife and stabbing Double M in the chest. Double M would return to his friends, but didn't realize the stabbing was severe. His friends would notice and rush him to hospital. However, sadly, Double M would be pronounced dead in hospital later that day.
Oh, and that could have been prevented, bro, if he would have just checked on himself, bro.
This leading to yet another murder investigation being launched. It didn't take long.
Oh, I know. I hope that's not. I hope that's not the murder team.
This leading to yet another murder investigation.
I hope this is not the murder team. Oh, damn. That's why they cook. This is why all them cases cook. This is 50. 50. She at least 50, 60 years old. And then you want to know what the excuse going to be. She's been working on a job for 40 years. 40 years, right. She's seen it all. Seen it all, done it all. Okay? And get some young blood, fresh meat. Get somebody that's out on these streets that can run and gun with these young cats. Y'all got this lady out here trudging this big 40-pound ass bag. She ready to go home and eat some soup. Y'all crazy as hell.
Being launched. It didn't take long for police to connect a man named Mohammed Shihabi, who was a civilian, to the crime. Mohammed Shihabi was sentenced to 9 years for the murder he committed. Rest in peace, Double M. The war in the streets would be raging at this point. Only a month later, another death would shock the nearby community. On the 25th of April 2021, a Custom House member named Young Grinna, who was well known as Grinna's younger brother, would be standing outside of his family home in East London when a car would slowly approach. What Young Grinna didn't know was that this car was full of CGE and 7th members. The members would exit the car and shoot Young Grinna. The members would then all run towards him and stab him multiple times whilst he was on the floor. Sadly, Young Grinna would be pronounced dead on.
That's extra-essential. Extra-essential. Absolutely insatiable. Absolutely crazy. Why would you do? Oh my gosh. Damn, bro. Closed casket scenario. That's exactly what that was, a closed casket scenario. Because who is thinking about getting up after that? Damn.
The scene. This meant that both of the brothers had been lost to the street life, leaving a massive hole in the family. Rest in peace, Grinna and Young Grinna. After the death of Young Grinna, Seventh would start disrespecting him in songs, with C1 being one of the main rappers from the Seventh set starting to rap and drop songs disrespecting his ops. Later on in 2021, the Seventh set would see in-house problems, with one of their own members being murdered, causing a massive divide in the Seventh gang. Now a Seventh member and popular drill rapper Stick Up would find himself in an argument with other Seventh members, who were his friends. Like all friends, arguments are bound to happen. However, this was different, and ended in the 3 Seventh members stabbing Stick Up multiple times, leaving him to die. Stick Up would sadly be pronounced dead only moments later, with the killers fleeing. Now, Woodgrange and BWC are both sets that make up the Seventh gang, so after Stick Up was killed by his own friends, the two sides would split, with certain members siding with different members. After the death of Stick Up, BWC and Woody would start to actively beef. This resulted in tit-for-tat incidents in the streets. This included when BWC members would catch a Woody member in jail and stab him in the neck. This was a direct retaliation for the murder of Stick Up, with it even being alleged that Yanko was responsible for the attack, as he talked about the incident in his song Painting a Picture. The beef between 6th and 7th has been quite active since 2021, with tit-for-tat incidents occurring nearly every month in the streets. 6th has been making a big noise in the music scene recently, with Twin S being released from prison and starting to drop songs again. A 6th member named Ryda recently burst onto the scene and has been dropping UK drill songs that are already starting to rake in hundreds of thousands of views. Ryda is looking as if he can make it big in the drill scene. Although this has been said about other rappers, I hope Ryda can use his talent and get big in the drill scene, as he has a lot of potential. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to...
Man, it get drizzy in these streets, man. It get real crazy. Different, difficult, diabolical. All I gotta say, I don't know what else to say. If you like the video, sub to the channel, man. You already know what to do. Be associated with the crew. Indoctrinate yourself. Sub to the channel. Do what you gotta do. You know we're gonna be back. Hold on. 5K on the way. We almost at that. Please keep subbing to the channel. We need to get to that number, and we almost there. We gonna be back with another mother sucking video.